welcome to another episode of Three Conservative Gimps, where we talk about everything political from dog catcher up to world leaders from a conservative point of view. So we've got a great show for you today. We got some interesting stuff happening this weekend, and some of it has already started. We'll be talking about that. So let's welcome the man with the melodious and sometimes docile voice. Maybe not docile, but he's talkative. Let's welcome Lloyd Mendenhall. Welcome.
Hello, Art. How you doing? Hey, Charles and Brian, welcome.
Yeah. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. Charles will be here shortly.
Right. He probably had to get out this Friday. They usually get out on Fridays. No, today's Thursday.
Today's Thursday, yeah.
I don't know why I'm thinking it's Friday. Maybe I'm just wishing it was Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still raining there, and
yeah, it's coming and going. You know, it's just it's supposed to get kind of stormy tonight. It's just today. It's just been light showers, here and there, on and off during the whole day, and just enough to make it start to feel muggy. But and there's Mr. Charles. Hey, Charles.
There's Charles. Hello. Welcome. Good to see you.
I don't know what happened when I logged on. I usually get me up in the my little thumbnail sort of thing up in the corner.
Yeah.
But this time it filled the whole browser screen, and when when Art said that I wasn't there, I'm like, well, what's going on here? And I had to open up the browser screen to almost fill my monitor to get the little button that says join the stream.
Oh, wow.
So I'm just kind of sitting here chilling, Actually, because I couldn't see you guys at all, and I'm seeing the opening. I'm like, is our Art and Lloyd here? Is Art having an issue with his computer? Is this all going to happen automatically, and then it's just going to cut in, cut into me? Am I the only person here?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be quite the trick. So.
Yeah, interesting. Wow. But anyway, it's all over with. I'm here. We're here. You're here. They're here.
Good.
Yeah, we're all here.
Weather good in your neighborhood, Charles?
Yeah, very nice today.
Good.
Mid to high 70s, sunny.
Wow. Well, here we've been 80s today. Partly cloudy. When I left work, it looked like we were in for a thunderstorm, because you could see off, towards the mountains. It looked like it was raining, and saw a little bit of lightning, and I thought, oh, hey, great, we'll have some rain. And it did cool us off. Boy, it was nice when I got home. So it didn't rain at all. It just went right by us down south, and so now it's still cloudy, but it's sunny. So I'm going to bed with it's still light out, which is a pain in the butt. So a lot of stuff has happened. We had a little thing in Los Angeles, and mostly peaceful.
Yeah. No violence whatsoever.
No. Just people throwing cinder blocks.
When the Los Angeles teams win, they do more stuff then than what they're doing out there right now. At least according to Gavin Newsom.
Yeah. Well, none of them had made it to the playoffs in anything this year, so
yeah. Well,
so they don't have a reason to riot. So they decide, have a riot this past weekend, and destroyed a bunch of cop cars and some autonomous cars. They
Yeah,
looked like police cars. They had the little
well, yeah, but those are autonomous cars. That's the
They're called
thing that
Waymo or
sends. Yeah,
something.
it's the thing that sends a signal. It's what.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the send and receive antenna built into
Uh,
it.
so I was having fun watching the guy with the skateboard beating the hell out of it, trying to break it. And I'm like, oh, good luck, Buck.
Yeah, yeah. What a waste of a good skateboard, right?
Yeah. So this weekend is the No Kings protest. It's supposed to happen nationwide at mid to large size cities. And boy, they're already having problems in Georgia. I saw a video where people were blocking highways and
Oh yeah, yeah.
just,
It's Chicago's had it. New York's had it. I mean,
right.
they're all. It's spreading. Of course, what it comes down to is most of these people are people that have been part of the Antifa crowd, the all of that same group of people, the George Floyd crowds,
Right.
and there's people backing them. I showed them bringing out,
You
riot gear mask and all that stuff.
Right.
And, oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
by the way, they arrested that guy that was handing out riot
Oh,
gear.
did they? Did they finally get
Yep.
him? Okay,
Yep. So,
but
also another thing that's happening around the country is somebody is buying cinder blocks and bricks and setting up pallets of them around the cities.
yep.
So, after this is all said and done, I think somebody ought to find out, okay,
Well,
what,
they're already looking into where the money's being traced,
oh, good.
and there's several of these organizations that they've discovered, and some of the stuff came
USAID?
USAID. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, well,
Hmm.
these were some of those that benefited. A lot of them got grants from the U.S. government, and it's just a way to funnel uh, money to these, different socialist organizations.
Right.
Sort of through the back door, and uh, that's where a lot of it. And they named off 3 or 4 of them. But it's the same crowd it's the same group of people that supported the uh, you know pro Hamas
BLM.
group, yeah,
Yeah.
BLM, pro Hamas, all of that stuff, yeah,
Antifa, pro Hamas.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Mm.
it's all part of the same, and they've been doing this, of course, some of them they're not able to do as much now because Trump cut off USAID, but
Mhm.
there's still a lot of grants that have been, so and this is what they need to look at, is these pork barrel things that they add to all these different, the
Right.
Democrats always want to add little things here and there. They need to see if that money's being used what it's supposed to be used for, or it's being used
Right.
to, create these riots. Well, they're not having riots, of course, obviously,
Yeah.
but whatever, these peaceful protests that they keep talking
Yeah.
about. They
And
must
how
be
about
watching a different channel than me.
how about universities and colleges? They're
Oh,
probably funneling money
yeah,
into
same
that.
thing. Yeah, yeah, and they're on the money trail. They're looking into it now. They've got
Good. Good.
they've got certain organizations already identified. Now they're putting their stuff together and trying to build some cases. So
Good.
you know,
Good. Good.
but the sad thing is unfortunately, it's our money that they're using
Yes,
to
it's our
finance this
money
shit.
to do all this stuff, and yeah, all this is to try to
Yeah.
egg Trump into, calling out the National Guard.
Well, and here's the thing. Gavin Newsom came out and said, he's got his talking points about, well, he didn't even contact me about bringing out the National Guard. Well, actually, he did, and they've got the phone records, and they show exactly when he talked to him, and they have it all documented because everything the president says is recorded.
Right.
You know, and it's been that way, you know, for at least since Richard Nixon days.
Yeah.
Well, every so often they'll lose about 18 minutes of tape, but other than that, they usually have it. You know, they usually have it all documented. So,
Right.
so yeah, and they've already. Is it Pam Bondi? She's the.
Yeah, she's the Attorney General.
Yeah, she's already provided the records to show
Right.
that, and so did the press secretary. What the hell's her name?
Oh, that'd be
Caitlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that her name?
Caitlin Levitt. Yeah.
Levitt. Yeah.
No, Caroline Levitt.
Caroline Levitt.
It starts with a K. It sounds.
I was getting McInerney somewhere. I think that was
That's Kaylee McInerney.
That was from the last time around, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, they provided the evidence that yes, and everything Newsom is doing is, he's doing this simply because he wants to be the next president.
Oh yeah.
But I even heard one of the pundits that is with the Democrats, and he said if he keeps this kind of stuff up, he says they're going to end up the Democrats are going to lose the midterm.
Yeah.
Because they're going to use this for
Right.
safety, because a poll just came out today. 59% of the people in the United States are support what Trump has done with bringing out the National Guard, compared to 39. There's a 20-point spread,
right,
between approval and disapproval, and he's got a 20-point spread. And I mean, even CNN is coming out, and when like Maxine Waters said, was standing out there taunting the National Guard guy, says, shoot me in the shoot me in the face. If you're going to shoot me, you better shoot straight.
Yeah, well,
and the reporter that was talking to her, the reporter that was talking to her afterwards says, is that really the best way to deal with this, to taunt them? Because, I was trying to remind him. Says, but is that really the way you would want it handled?
Right.
Is that the way, and even CNN has started. That's pretty bad when CNN starts questioning.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's welcome Grant. Mr. S is in, and Mark R. White. Welcome, guys. So,
I said hi to Grant when he came in, but I forgot Mark.
I guess Cash Patel, he's probably pretty busy with all this stuff, and he's got ICE to deal with, and so
ICE baby,
ICE baby, do 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 do. Yep.
Oh, don't get him started, Charles. We don't want him. We don't want him singing. He's not that good. He sings about as good as he does ventriloquism. So
well, hey, speaking of ventriloquism, my happy birthday to TJ did really well. 1.4K views on that.
That's because they like to see somebody making a fool of themselves.
Yeah.
I never try to convince myself that I'm that good. They're looking at me because I know I'm an idiot, and so once you accept that, it puts things into perspective.
Okay, well, we'll wait until you start videotaping your ventriloquism.
I've already done it.
Yeah, how many views have you got?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't look at views. See, this is the difference between you and I. I don't care about views.
Okay.
If I cared about views, I'd have got some good-looking gal to do all my voiceovers for me. I know. Instead, I'm an old goat that doesn't give a shit. But,
okay.
That would be kind of bizarre to see Lloyd's face talking with the voice of some sultry 24-year-old.
Yeah. And maybe I'd get my granddaughter to do voiceovers for me. That would be hilarious.
So Brian's got a good point. He said, my governor McKee said that no one in Rhode Island is illegal, and we're ready to fight Trump. This is a solid blue state, and his ratings are worse than Trump. What an idiot.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing. There are so many idiots out there, and I'm just I just shake my
Colorado's
head.
one of them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I just shake my head to think, how can these people believe this bullshit that they're talking about?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting to the point. I think I'm gonna quit. And here's the thing: 2 actors came out this week and said 2 different things. One of them I enjoy watching, but I don't necessarily agree with what he says. The other one, I could care less about his movies, but I damn sure 100%. The first one was Arnold Schwarzenegger. He'd come out and saying there it's just in a little 5-block area and it wasn't no big deal,
Hmm.
And he's supposed to be a Republican. Well, he can kiss my red ass is what he can do. And the other one, and I like his movies, but I can't. He's so wishy-washy. He's such a wimp when it comes to this stuff. The other one, who I agree with 99% of the time, is John Voight, but his movies are boring as hell.
Oh, I know. Mm-hmm.
The
Unless
worst
he
thing.
does them with what's his name, Nicolas Cage.
Do what?
Unless he does a movie with Nicolas Cage.
Well, and that's because you're not watching John Voight; you're watching Nicolas Cage.
That's true. Yeah, he's sort of supporting in a supporting role.
Yeah, I like he did. He did. Was it Return to Lonesome Dove? In which he played Captain McCall. Oh my God, that was just because it was all about him taking the body back, and or I can't remember. Yeah, I think he was bringing it back after he rode through, picked up Gus at the place he'd left him, and then took him all the way back. I was bored to tears. He's just not that. I think the best movie he was ever in, and that was only because it had Angelina Jolie in it, and that was Lara Croft Tomb Raider, the first one.
Oh, okay.
And he made an appearance, and he was only it was only an image. He was only on the screen, maybe a total of 30 seconds to maybe 2 minutes on the outside altogether. So yeah, but I like his politics.
Right.
He was really calling them out. He told Gavin Newsom, we're sick of your slick back hair. We're sick of you.
Right.
You're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot. He really called him to the carpet. And then
like smooth like this.
Oh, okay. I thought you were having a fit or something.
No, that's what Gavin Newsom's been doing lately.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't pay attention to what he does. I can barely tolerate to hear his voice, let alone see him on.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like the sleaziest of.
Oh, he's like a used car salesman.
Well, I was going to say, I think I'd rather listen to Cal Worthington do a sales pitch than I would hearing Gavin Newsom talk. Now, for those of you who don't know who Cal Worthington is, look him up. Cal Worthington and Dog Spot, which was an elephant or whatever he brought up there is anything but a dog.
Okay.
He was a California salesman, and he actually got world renowned. He's from back, I think he died like back in the early 80s or mid 80s, but just look up Cal Worthington TV commercials, and they're hilarious to watch. But he was very successful,
Mm-hmm.
And but he was from California. But he was really good at what he did. It was funny. But anyways, I'd rather see him and his dog Spot than I would see Gavin Newsom. I actually would trust Cal Worthington, and I know he was a used car salesman.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, so Gavin Newsom state that didn't have enough water to put out fires.
Right.
Highest crime rate in the nation. Highest homeless rate in the nation.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, highest gas prices. Highest cost of living. So he wants to be president. Great.
And he wants to be our president. God help us on that one. Yeah.
Yep. You know, when Ronald Reagan was governor, boy, the state was, going gangbusters.
Yeah. I you know, I don't think. I mean, Schwarzenegger didn't do the state any good. He didn't.
No.
He was he 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 was sleeping with the Kennedys, literally.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was married to one of them, and they kind of told Arnold, you gotta, if you
Yeah.
want to be part of
Obviously,
our,
obviously he wasn't just sleeping with the Kennedys.
yeah. They
Have you
probably
noticed
told,
those rich guys out there in California all are sleeping with their nannies? I mean, look at
yeah,
Kamala's husband. He's a
yeah,
nanny snatcher.
yeah, or snatching nannies.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, California hasn't been the same since Ronald Reagan was governor.
Right,
It's just
right.
it's continually spiraling. It's like a turd in a toilet bowl. It just keeps spinning around,
Right, yep.
and for some reason it just won't flush down. It's
Yep.
like maybe if they
So,
could flush this. But I will agree with I will agree with a few of those that were protesting. Some of the speeches that they gave I thought were very good.
oh,
Yeah, I love the one about giving California back to Mexico. I thought I agree with that 100%.
yeah.
The damn
Well,
thing.
just give the southern part
Well, yeah,
back,
that's
or the coastal part.
yeah.
San
Well,
Francisco,
he cut
LA.
out to San Francisco. Hey, TJ.
Hey, TJ.
Hey, Tej.
And so they want. Actually, I think we bought California from the Spanish after we kind of kicked their butt in the Spanish-Mexican War, and that's how we got.
No.
No?
You got that all wrong.
Okay,
They got independence. Mexico got independence from Spain.
that's right.
Then we had the Mexican-American War, and we kicked their ass.
That's
The
right.
Spanish-American War, and that was in the 1840s.
Yeah.
The Spanish-American War was in the 1890s.
Yes, that's
And
right.
that was where we got Cuba and the
Right.
Philippines. But we got California when we helped them become free and independent from Mexico.
That's right. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah.
Well,
So,
I was there, so I wanted to make sure you got it right.
That's right. You were Tippy Canoe and
Tyler too.
Mendenhall too.
Yeah.
So we got that going, and we've had some protests here in mostly in Aurora, because that's where the ICE detention center is. Nothing violent. Haven't seen anything too crazy, but like Chicago and Georgia and other places, they've been having problems there too.
You were mentioning earlier about the protests that they're planning. It's the No King. Is that what it is?
No King.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's actually coinciding with the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. It's their 250th anniversary, which is a pretty big deal,
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, they
and Father's Day on Sunday.
Well, yeah, but that's
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, is it this coming Sunday? Is Father's Day? Really?
Yep.
I thought it was last Sunday. I was a week early. I always thought it was the second Sunday in June.
No, I think it's the third Sunday.
Third Sunday. Now, okay, I always get
who the hell knows? I don't pay attention. I just know that it's around the 16th or so, because that was my sister's birthday, and it was also Judy's grandmother's birthday. It was both June 16th. So
okay,
but yeah. So anyways, that's what they're protesting. And what really strikes me as funny is, they're saying no king. That's what it's all about. My cousin brought this up. He says they're yelling at us about Trump wants to be king, no kings. That's why they're protesting. But yet they're acting like a bunch of spoiled princesses.
Yeah, that's right. So,
And a few of them are, and there's a bunch of them that are drama queens.
right.
They should be
And
protesting themselves.
so this weekend, get your stereo, turn it up, and play a lot of BB King, Albert King,
Yeah.
Buddy King, and is it Bud? I know there's 3 Kings.
Yeah,
And,
there's 3 kings that
Nat King
Nat
Cole.
King Cole, let's not forget him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nationwide protest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Procut.
I will. Oh, okay. Pro cut. That is. Oh God. Oh, I'll figure it out.
I probably haven't, and for some reason I can't remember it. I should know it. But it's been a few days since I've seen him up here.
Right.
So let's see.
Oh, Freddie King. Yeah, Freddie King, BB King,
okay.
and Albert King. Yeah. All right. Now I got him. And Nat King Cole. Yeah. John. Yeah, that's right. John is.
John. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Pro cut. Okay.
Yeah. I figured he'd put it up there before I could find it because I knew I had it here somewhere. Yeah, there it is right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, he's going to troll them in Seaverville. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Well, I don't know that I haven't seen anything really coming up on the news about protest. I think they had a little bit of marching, but ever since the 100th anniversary of the what they call the Tulsa Massacre, it used to be the Tulsa Race Riot, now it's the Tulsa Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Martin Luther King too. You're right.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Play his speech real loud. I had a dream, obviously none of them have ever read the words.
Right. That's right.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, during that protest, we had a bunch of BLM people came in from out, and they because the Tulsa Race Riot, Tulsa Massacre happened in a place called the Greenwood District.
Oh, hold the phone.
Really?
Breaking Israel just attacked Iran. Let me.
Crap.
Oh boy, that's going to be. Let me see.
Yeah, let me see.
I'm not seeing anything yet.
Oh yeah, it says Israel is poised to launch operation on Iran. Okay.
Okay.
Israel prepared to strike Iran. Okay. Israel fully ready to attack Iran in the coming days.
They may have already done it. Let me double check. See.
Oh, and Mark R. White said, don't forget Billie Jean King. Actually, well.
Yeah, it says right here. I just saw it. Israel attacks. Let me see if I can bring it up here real quick.
Okay.
Waiting. Okay, it won't. Let's see. That's what it's got for a headline. So.
Okay.
It's
that thing down at the bottom. Looks like a monitor with the arrow going up.
Do it.
Click on. If you want to share that.
Oh no, there's nothing there yet.
Oh, okay.
They've got the headlines is all they've got.
Okay.
Yeah. When I see it go live, I'll bring something up just to show it. But
okay, interesting. Wow.
Yep. So I knew they were going to. Let's see. World conflicts. Let's see what we got here.
So I suppose they're going to attack the nuclear complexes. Those are buried pretty deep unless they use some bunker busters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trump Israel strike on Iran could happen amid Middle East evacuation, nuclear negotiations. Okay, well, that was from 6 hours ago. Apparently, an hour ago, Hamas killed 8 Gaza Humanitarian Foundation workers and injured several others in what the group says was an unprovoked attack. And at the same time, CENTCOM eliminates ISIS plotter responsible for threatening U.S. citizens, partners, and civilians. So we apparently a lot is going on there right now. So yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
but
Wow.
yeah. So because I did see it on YouTube where one of the guys is getting ready to go live.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
So, wow, this is all going on. We got the No Kings riots supposed to happen nationwide. Now we got shit going on in the Middle East. Man.
what the
So
hell?
this is going to be an interesting weekend.
Apparently, an Oklahoma man who pledged his loyalty to Islam State wanted to carry out a terrorist attack on Oklahoma Sooners football stadium. In 2023. Anyways, apparently that's one that they've stopped. So I think I remember.
Okay.
So yeah, it's getting crazy, guys.
Yep. And then a week ago Sunday, we had the terrorist attack in Boulder, where we had a guy throw Molotov cocktails at pro-Israel supporters that were marching through not Pearl Street Mall in Boulder.
Right.
16th Street Mall is in Denver. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't meaning to laugh at that, but what I saw was one of the little headlines that popped up was apparently the House Democrat, it looks like Joaquin Jeffries, waved an Elmo toy around, called it puppet politics. I don't know. That's a dummy showing the dummy, I guess. But anyways, until further notice, okay. Thank you, Brian. Let's see. Oh yeah, CBS News.
Oh, which that also brings me up. Congressman Evans brings up a bipartisan resolution condemning the Boulder attack passes the House. News about that. The only Democrat that supported that was Joe Neguse, our congressman from the 2nd District. Every other Democrat voted against it.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, the
So
Democrats have they're just
they're on the wrong side of everything lately.
they don't have a game plan. They don't know what to do. They're so full of hatred that
Right.
you know, and they're letting and those with common sense that may be in the Democratic Party are letting people like Gavin Newsom and these other idiots speak for them.
Right.
But you got Maxine Waters and you got Nancy Pelosi. They're so ingrained into that
Right.
they're just. I mean, I see no purpose of what I haven't seen Maxine Waters or Nancy Pelosi do anything worthwhile for this
Right.
country in years.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So they're just riding it. They're just all they're doing is opening the doors for people like AOC and Joaquin Jeffries and some of these other far left loons that are out there.
Right.
But it's like, personally, they need to either die or go home. One of the
Mm-hmm.
two. I mean, not that I wish death on any of them, but I mean, they're, uh, uh, yeah. Oh, and don't forget, We lost Brian Wilson yesterday too.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Okay, I'm going to play this. I just got this up and let's see. Alrighty, and I got the sound. Okay, here we go.
There, those are pictures of Iran at night. You see some smoke there. And then we also have some reporting. Our Jennifer Jacobs reports that the White House will convene a cabinet meeting tomorrow morning. That's per several sources. The U.S. is not a part of this operation. There's no intelligence sharing. Iran State TV says the country's air defense system is on full alert. General, if you're still with us, I just have one other question. In terms of the ladder of Israeli attacks, you mentioned that there might be a smaller scale attack and then just kind of make a new kind of assessment. How much could Israel do without help of the United States in terms of hurting the Iranian nuclear program?
John, they can damage the Iranian nuclear program. They can give it significant damage. They cannot do the things that we could do to the Iranian nuclear program because they don't have the special ordinance that will let you go deep into the deep underground spaces where the Iranians have some of the most sensitive parts of their program concealed. So that is going to be a limit, but they can still do a significant amount of damage. And again, I don't know if they plan to come back tomorrow night. Is this a one-night event? Is it going to be a multi-day event? That's still to be discovered. The Israelis will certainly assess the damage. They'll look at how it went, and then they'll make decisions based on that. And they'll also make decisions, I'm sure, based on whatever the Iranian response is. And again, I would just emphasize the narrower the Israeli strike, the more clearly confined to the nuclear target that it is. And the nuclear target is a bunch of targets. I want to be clear, as you sort of illustrated in your very good graphic. It's a lot of targets, but as long as they're narrowly scaled against that, there's a possibility we might be able to control escalation here.
And General, what are U.S. military officials thinking right now in terms of their assets in the region that are possibly in danger? Give me a sense of the to-do list that suddenly has popped up in front of U.S. decision makers.
So everybody's at a very high state of alert right now. Probably a lot of people are in shelters. We're looking very hard at,
Brian,
at
you're
all
probably
our
right. We
sensors
did
to
probably
see what the
support
Iranians
everything.
might do next. I would think the
I
CENTCOM
have no
commander
doubt
has
that we
probably
did.
taken steps to disperse his aircraft, to position ships in different places than where they've just been, to do a variety of things, all of which will complicate Iranian targeting as they begin to decide what their next move is going to be. And I would also think that there'll probably be some clear and unambiguous messaging directed at Iran, warning them of the ultimate consequences of attacking U.S. forces and U.S. targets in the region. Because I have to believe, John, if that occurs, the Iranian regime itself will come under pressure. And I go back to a point I made earlier. Preservation of that regime remains the highest goal of Iranian statecraft.
And just holding on that point for a second, it remains the highest goal. So does that mean they're limited really in how far they're really going to go because they don't want to get a massive attack that might bring that into question?
Within their own worldview, the Iranians are realists. They know the limits of their capabilities. They've been badly exposed by the attacks of their offensive forces on Israel. Their own defensive forces have been severely attrited by prior Israeli attacks. They're at the weakest they've been in many, many years. When pressed, the Iranians are willing to negotiate. They did this during the Iran-Iraq war. It's called drinking from the poison chalice in Iranian statecraft. They've done it before. It's possible they'll do it again. I think it all depends on the nature of this attack, how successful it was, what the collateral damage is. There are a variety of factors that will go into that calculation.
All right, General McKenzie, thank you. I want to turn to Margaret Brennan.
Okay, well.
All right, I think I've shared enough, and so
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So it's several sites around Iran that are being attacked,
Right.
Mostly the nuclear facilities, which is if they could slow them down and maybe they have sources telling them, hey, they're pretty close to have an operational weapon.
And this isn't the first time that Israel has had to go in there. We sort of keep a hands-off thing when it comes to that. If we have to, Trump will go in there and do something. But I think we've let Israel do that a couple other times. And
Right.
And they said that that general was talking, said that they didn't have the bunker busters that we do. That's what he's
Right.
referring to. I'm not going to say they don't.
Yeah, that's true.
They are our allies, and we do provide them with a lot of armament.
Mm-hmm. And we send them a lot of jets.
And they manufacture a lot of stuff too.
And yeah, they've taken our jets and they've done some upgrades that have made those jets almost comparable to.
When you look at how effective Israel was with the exploding telephones,
yeah,
even our intelligence was impressed. That's like something out of James Bond, and even our own intelligent people were like, "Wow, you can do that!"
Yeah.
So it goes to show you that Israel lives in the middle of a war zone, and they have since 1947.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They've always had to fight for everything, and they've always had to prepare for it, and they never got the support of any of the other countries, not for the longest time. The UK didn't support them. At the time of statehood, the Muslims were allowed to carry guns, but the Jews were not.
Did not know that. Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
they had to be smuggled in.
All right.
We actually sent one of our generals over there, and he became the first general of the army for Israel.
Oh.
And they did. It was basically like the road to Burma type thing, where they were trying to get into Jerusalem before 6 o'clock that morning, because the ceasefire would take place at noon, and they had to be in position and have possession. That's why they only got half of Jerusalem, because
okay.
but they were blocked they couldn't go through the front. They had to come around and go up over these mountains, and finally some British observers, and that's what they were. They started helping them, and but yeah, and as I said, and unfortunately, the first general got killed by one of his own people because he was an American and he didn't speak Hebrew. And the guard, it's Cast a Giant Shadow. If you ever want to see the movie with Kurt Douglas, it gives you, it's dramatized. It's a little bit, there's an affair thing there going on and all this, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
But, it gives you the gist of what happened. And
okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so
I'll have to check that out. Another good movie is Exodus.
Exodus is also another very good movie. It gives you, between those two, you get a pretty good idea of what the Israelis were up against.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Got Benny King and Sam King.
Sam King and okay.
Benny King did is it Lean on Me, or was it Stand By Me, or was it?
Oh yeah, that is Benny King. Yeah, I opened for that guy once. Yeah. This was.
Yeah, he did some really cool songs. Funny thing was is, in at least two of Patrick Swayze's movies,
right.
He used their soundtrack. In Roadhouse, he used one, and the funny thing was, he used both of them when he was when he's getting ready to make love to the heroine of the show.
Oh, okay.
Same with one with her name was Joel, or not Joel. That's her father's name. Is
Aaron Gray. Aaron Gray? No, Jennifer Gray.
Jennifer Gray. Yeah. Aaron Gray was from Buck Rogers in the 25th Century.
Yeah.
Jennifer Gray. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell
She
was that
got a
movie?
nose job, and you can't even recognize her.
Yeah. What the hell was that movie?
Dirty Dancing was the one that.
Thank
yeah.
you. I should have known that.
And Red Dawn, she was in that too.
Yeah, she was in that too. But in
Ferris
both
Bueller's, yeah.
in Roadhouse and in Dirty Dancing, the scene where he was making out with the two gals, both songs were a Benny King song.
Oh, interesting.
I only know this is because I like them. I like the music.
Right.
And Judy watched those so much. That's why I couldn't believe that I couldn't think of Dirty Dancing, because we must have watched that 3 times a week sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sam King was a baseball player. Okay.
Sam King was a baseball player. Okay.
So speaking of Israel, you remember our favorite climate activist, Greta Thurnberg?
Oh yeah, Greta. Yeah, good old
She
Greta.
decided she was a pro-Hamas supporter.
Yeah, went in on her little flotilla and they turned and packed her butt right back out.
Yep, that's right. Well, they deported her. They
deported
detained her,
yeah.
and they sent her back to Sweden.
Yep.
So,
yeah, she's.
I guess the climate activism gig wasn't working out.
No.
You know, because of the cool spring we've been having this everywhere, and so that's not working out. So she had to find another grift, and her new grift is supporting her mom.
When she first did that, of course, there's been a lot of comment about it, and I think it's probably true that she's one of the spectrum. She's part of the spectrum autism,
right?
And her parents used that and took advantage of that.
Yeah,
and to promote their own agenda.
How dare you?
Yeah, they were tree huggers, and they got her all fired up and took advantage of her,
Right,
and played into that, and because. And she's, I don't know what her parents are doing now, or if she's, because she's, what is she now?
She's got to support them now, They got that lavish lifestyle up there in Stockholm,
Right.
That's why she changed her gig, and it's hard to believe, she's 22 now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 years of her crap.
She's all growed up, still not any smarter.
She is physically grown, but I don't think she's quite matured yet,
Right. Yeah. She's not on the same level as Elon is.
Oh, no, not at all.
He's on a spectrum all his own right there.
Yeah, he kind of, although I guess he's kind of regretting some things he said.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. Yep.
Yeah, he said he might have gone too far. Think, Elon?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's as Vivek says, all's well that ends well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that was part of the reason he left, because, like he said, he's an alpha male. They're very, and Elon was an alpha male, and he couldn't see Elon being second fiddle to Trump or or Vivek being second fiddle to Elon. So they kind of, because of their they're alpha males. They're not, and I don't mean that in the masculine way.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're wealthy, they're leaders, they're investors, and they're geniuses in their own right, whatever field that is they're in. And I think and that's what Vivek Ramaswamy said the other day in an interview that was done with him. And he says Elon has served in the sciences, and business industry, especially in promoting the sciences. And he says, Vivek says now he's getting ready to serve his state as governor, he hopes. And of course, then you have, the guy who serves the whole nation, and that's Donald Trump, who's our president now. You know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Elon's gone back to what he's good at, and I think so. Yeah,
Well, it's not that Elon was bad at what he
no.
does. I think he was like all of us, was hoping there was going to be more
cuts or more deficit
well,
reduction.
not just more cuts, but more actual stuff done.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that there was going to be something way more decisive and powerful and sweeping than what we got.
Right.
Well,
and I know we've had a little bit of a discussion about how this current bill, which is being passed, isn't the full budget or something. This is just a reconciliation or whatever.
Right.
But still, we really, I mean, as a country, we really need to have
a full budget.
A full budget, a full major sweeping cuts. All this stuff, you know, Doge needs to be, well, I want to say that Doge needs to be made a permanent part of the government, but it all depends on who runs it. How do you keep it completely independent and apolitical? Right. I mean, you could, you know, maybe if we could, you know, if Elon was still involved, or maybe we could get a few other people like Elon involved, right, who are really serious about, you know, we got to do something.
Right.
But I fear that if it was made permanent, that it would be corrupted and, you know, defanged, so to speak, just like every other part of government.
Yeah. Every other department that they put up, you know, they all get, you know, they all get abused one way or the other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not saying that Elon was wrong either. He was, I think a couple of the things he kind of let his emotions get ahead of him, you know.
Well, and, yeah.
You know, he didn't need to be, you know, there, you know, the whole thing about, and we discussed that too, or at least Art and I did, I know, about Trump being on the, you know, in the Epstein files or whatever, you know, because I know darn well that Hesgrith would not be supporting Trump if he knew that Trump was involved with that, you know.
Right.
Because above all things, he's for law and order, you know.
Right.
Is it Hesgrith? No, it's not Hesgrith.
Hegseth.
Who's the Dan Bonagino? That's what I'm thinking of. Bonagino. Bonagino would not be putting up with this if Trump was involved with this. He'd be going after him, you know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I think that was where Elon kind of went.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, Bongino is deputy director of the FBI.
Right, but he would, you know, he still has a lot of hands on him and Kash Patel.
Yeah,
they do a daily thing in which they have these stacks. You know, he says on top of trying to get all this other stuff out, they're still trying to deal with terrorist threats and all this other stuff inside. You know, the general everyday law enforcement and there's stuff that's for their eyes only, and they have to go through it. You know, it comes to him, and he goes through it, and then he hands it off to the director, which is Kash Patel, and he's got to go through it, and then it goes back down again. You know, it's this way up, that way back down. You know, and but yeah, I don't think Bonagino would put up. You know, he's seen enough of the files to know that you know, it was a suicide. They've got videotapes, you know. So there's was it who was it who died? Died in their cell? Was it Epstein or was
it Epstein?
Yeah.
But I thought the camera. How can they have video footage if the camera's blanked out?
He said they've got they've got some. He says they've got video footage.
Oh, okay. And
it was
Hillary
in an interview he did on
helping?
Fox. It was in an interview they did on Fox here this last week or the week before. Within this, I think it was sometime last week that he did the interview, in which he said he's seen the evidence. He says, and it's all there. He says, you know, nobody entered his cell, nobody left his cell during that whole time period. You know. there was no way for anybody to have gotten in or out to have done it. So they've got, so it was self-inflicted,
Okay.
So I think I felt that it was a suicide. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think some of the, yeah. Anyways, like I said, you have to go watch the interview. It's on Fox News. I can't
Okay.
remember who it was that was interviewing him, but he gave a lot of detail about that. And,
Right.
So like I said, had anything come up with, they're still going through a lot of it, but they said he's seen the video evidence that showed that nobody had gone in and out. The guards had not, Pro-Cut didn't buy it. Well, I don't know. I'm just going by what he says. So,
Right.
and you have to trust him sometimes. I think right now our FBI agency is more trustworthy, at least those up on top. It's far
Right.
more trustworthy than it's been in the last, because I think he really was hoping that they could show that, somebody had done it, and
Right.
put a lot of, and then, but he said, unfortunately, he says it was self-inflicted. So,
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah.
No cyanide in the face cream.
No, none of that stuff. He says none of those. He says no. It was.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the Pro-Cut, you're probably right. You're not convinced because they're going to be releasing it,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, they're also dealing with. They got to declassify certain parts of it, and they're trying to gather it all. They don't even have it all because the last administration was hiding a lot of stuff, and they're still trying to get it all.
Okay.
And so once they have that together, plus they're dealing with what we got going on now, these riots, other things that the Department of Justice is requiring of the FBI to do. So it will come out. He says it's not that they don't want to release it right now. They just need to get it to where they can release everything, and they want to do it all at once.
Right.
So, but he did say that I can say that it was not murder, it was suicide. Yeah.
Okay.
And he gave several examples of what convinced him. So,
Okay. Good points.
because he went in there thinking it was murder,
Right.
and after being there, he discovered that unless it's some like maybe it's like what is that National Treasure? Where they've got this secret book that they all got to sign. And yeah, the president's book.
Right.
Yeah, but I doubt that.
Mm-hmm.
That
Everybody, yeah, go ahead. Finish up.
It's not conducive to making a trustworthy FBI, and that's what he's trying to do is get the trust back into the Bureau. He and Cash Patel are working very hard at doing that. So I go with what So because I trust him, I trust and Cash Patel. I trust that what he's saying is true. And at any point, if something should come up, he said he would gladly. If something else shows up, he says, but right now, he says there's nothing that's showing it. So, as I said, I'm going by what he says.
Brian says,
Looks like the nuclear program will be discontinued.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Nice. That'd be good. Well, we've done an hour, and I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming. Please tell your friends about our show. We are just three subscribers away from 500. Let's get it over the edge. Let's build this channel, and I'm kind of. I think we're being shadow banned by YouTube. There's some conservative channels that are doing great, and we've been around for quite a while.
Yeah, so, yeah. How long have you and I been doing it together?
I think about 4, maybe 5 years.
Somewhere like that. Seems like that sounds about right.
And I've been doing this since 2010.
Right.
We had a brief hiatus about a year or so back
Right.
in 2014, 2013. Yeah. So, yeah. So let's build this up, and I want to be like Red Eagle Politics. Those guys, or that guy,
Yeah.
whoever's
Yeah.
running now, he's doing really good. So
Yeah.
I just don't have the time like that guy has to make videos and stuff, and I really should start doing
Well,
some videos.
you've got so much going on with your other channels, such, you know,
Right.
it's like, yeah, you may have to come to a point where you decide, okay, I need to focus on, you know, these two channels or this one channel, you know,
Right.
and
Mhm.
put the others on vacation for a while.
Right. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Don't forget, Bill, my other show, my drone show tomorrow night, which is on an hour earlier than this show.
Yep.
And so, depending on if I'm working Saturday, if I don't work Saturday, it might be a long show. But don't forget Bill's show on Saturday and Lloyd's show on Monday.
Yep.
Take care, everybody, and God bless. Have a great Father's Day weekend. Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Be
folks.
kind, folks. Be kind.